by Indian American Neil Mohan.
Neil Mohan.
Neil Mohan.
Neil Mohan, the CEO of YouTube, just released his big 4 bets for YouTube for 2025 and moving forward. And a lot of these things are very interesting. You as creators are going to want to pay attention to this because it will impact every single one of you, and it will also open the door for a lot of opportunities. So for those of you guys who are looking to become a paid creator or just looking to increase your business revenue, or your business owners already looking for alternate streams of revenue, this video, I'm going to share some things that I think you guys are going to like. Let's dive into it. All right, so Neil released this on X today. By the time you guys see this, it's probably going to be a couple days later. But he says, today I'm sharing 4 big bets we're making at YouTube in 2025. And let's just roll into this. He says, YouTube will remain the epicenter of culture where the world's biggest moments play out, from hour-long podcasts, music videos, 30-second shorts, and episodic content. The YouTube ecosystem will continue to fuel cultural trends and fandom. So again, this paints the picture of Neil's big vision: world domination. He wants to own the podcast space with YouTube Music, but not just YouTube Music, but just YouTube in general. People are posting their video podcasts on the platform. And remember, if you guys have been following me for a long time, you'll know that one of my big pivots from a couple years ago was YouTube leaning into this ultra long form content, because there's so much opportunity for ad revenue in that space. You think about Joe Rogan's podcast. If you're not on YouTube Premium and you're watching every single one of those ad breaks, Joe Rogan is making probably 30 to 50, maybe even beyond that in his RPMs. He's absolutely destroying it. So the podcast ecosystem on YouTube is a great revenue making machine for YouTube. So of course they're going to want to lean into that. They're also leaning into music videos. You think about the death of MTV. Who would have thought that it would have been replaced by YouTube? But there are independent creators, there are massive mega billion subscriber, but there are independent musicians, and there are mega musicians who are releasing all of their music videos on YouTube. And I mean, it's a really smart move for YouTube. Now, the question is, like I talked about in my live streaming episode a couple videos back, is this what people want? Is this going to be the most healthy path forward for YouTube? In my opinion, there is something to be said about competition. If other platforms can continue to be a threat to YouTube, it will keep YouTube, give it some checks and balances, so that way it can't just be this grand decider of who becomes influential and what can make it onto the platform and what needs to be suppressed and what creators can actually have a podium, a platform, and what creators violate terms of service. Right now, it's kind of willy-nilly. And I like the idea of X, and I like the idea of Facebook saying, hey, listen, we're kind of pushing back against this wokeism stuff that a lot of people have been critical about over the last number of years, the fact checkers and stuff like that. And so my hope is that that pressure will be put on YouTube as well. But if YouTube becomes the most dominant video platform in the world and just knocks all these other platforms off, not saying like Facebook, Twitter, I'm talking like Rumble and TikTok and even Instagram and Shorts, and they just steal the entire market share, is that good for us as creators? In my opinion, it is not, because then they have ultimate control. Let's keep going with Neil. All over the world, creators are bringing a startup mindset to Hollywood, leaning into new models of production and building studios to elevate their production quality. We're supporting their growth with tools and features that power their businesses and communities, and we're unlocking more ways for them to earn, including via shopping, recommendations, and channel memberships. So it's interesting to see YouTube leaning more into the shopping. I think they saw how much revenue that TikTok was stealing in the market share. TikTok, I mean, in reality, I don't know the numbers, but my feeling is, just based off of my personal use of it and what I'm seeing other people do as well, my feeling is that YouTube actually making significant impact in the e-com space, maybe even giving Amazon just a micro run for their money. And this is why companies like Amazon are focused even more so on their video reviews. I know creators who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year just by creating review videos, buying crap from Amazon, doing a review video, posting it, and then when people click on after their review to buy the product, that creator makes a little bit of money. There's a ton of money in this like UGC e-com space, and I think YouTube sees that and wants to tap into that as well. Again, increasing the world domination. But they're also doing the channel memberships, which is basically knocking Patreon out of business. I think within the next couple of years, Patreon might just disappear unless people are really like honed in and focusing on them through Facebook and Instagram, those social media platforms, which Patreon will still has a fighting chance over there. In regards to the Hollywood vision, I don't know, you guys. I think that there's something to be said about the massive punch in the teeth that Mr. Beast took over the last year and how little creators and viewers respect that style of content anymore. So in my opinion, I'm starting to feel like the overproduced type of content, the pendulum is swinging back towards raw, authentic, which is what YouTube was built on in the first place. So I don't actually agree with him on this like Hollywood building the studio type of thing. I think that's actually, it might be a mistake for some people. I think people are just respecting big giant creators less and less and leaning more into authenticity. I think it's honestly because we've been manipulated so hard over the last 5 years by creators, by influencers, by celebrities, by politicians, that people are just like, what's real anymore? Who is real? And so the more produced it looks, the less real it feels, and the less real it feels, the less people trust it. That's my take. I want to hear from you guys. Leave it in the comments below. Also, by the way, we're opening our YouTube incubator back up. So if you guys are creators or business owners who are looking to take your YouTube channel to the next level and you want a system that's proven to work, we've had a ton of people who've come through that system and have absolutely destroyed it. Hundreds of thousands of views, in some cases, millions of views on some of the channels we've worked with. And I'd love to invite you guys to click the link in the description, apply, see if you qualify. We would love to have you as part of that program. All right, back to Neil. So he says, for more and more people, watching TV means watching YouTube. TV has surpassed mobile and is now the primary device for YouTube viewing in the US. And according to Nielsen, YouTube has been #1 in streaming watch time in the US for 2 years. As more creators produce content for the big screen, we're bringing the best of YouTube to TVs. This actually is a huge opportunity for people. I want you to think about this. What can you do in your content to make it more TV friendly? Think about what people are doing as they're sitting down to watch something on television. My kids watch YouTube over television all day of the week. We actually canceled our YouTube TV, and now my kids are watching YouTube exclusively when we give them screen time because there's so much variety. So what can you be doing in your content to make it more TV friendly? Let's go to ChatGPT and just see what ChatGPT says, because I'm a big firm believer that AI is actually going to be a huge resource for great content ideas. We actually even built out a content engine for our Graffiti clients based off of my knowledge, our client success. We've fed it so much data, it's insane. But yeah, let's go. All right. How can YouTube creators make their content more YouTube friendly? Boop up. Oh, fudge. That's not what I meant. More television friendly. All right, let's see what it says. All right, so ChatGPT didn't quite understand what I was saying from this prompt, but there are a couple things in here that I would say are good rules to follow. Elevate production values. Okay, so this is kind of leaning into Neil Mohan's thing. But again, I don't know. I still feel like there needs to be the element of authenticity. That's what makes YouTube fun to watch. Adopt a structured TV-like format, segment your content. Now, I do agree with this. Have frameworks that are easy for people to watch, people to follow along with while they're on TV. Strengthen storytelling. Yep, definitely storytelling. So there you guys have it. Like, there's a few things that you can do to increase your watchability on television, but I definitely think that optimizing for television is a great idea. Make it so that way it's easy for people to want to watch your content while they're watching TV. AI will make it easier to create on YouTube and improve the YouTube experience for everyone. We'll keep investing in AI tools to help creators experiment with new ideas, get work done, and find new audiences, like auto dubbing, which will be available for all creators in the YouTube Partner Program later this month. Auto dubbing is actually a spectacular thing which will open up your content to audiences all across the world. That is going to be a game changer for a lot of creators. This is going to open you up to revenue opportunities from anywhere in the world. And I think there are going to be a lot of creators that are going to see massive spikes in their viewership just simply because they're auto dubbing their content in different languaging. That's awesome. So if you guys have created YouTube channels that are both in English and in Spanish, we've done this before, English, German, French, whatever, don't do that anymore. Just start creating them in English and then use the auto dubbing feature. Also, I've been really impressed with the inspiration tab. Not only does it tell you what the outliers are and what people are searching for, but it gives you ideas on how to create content for those outliers based off of your content and based off of what people are wanting to see. That's a really cool tool. So if you guys aren't using the inspiration tab, I would highly recommend checking it out and just testing it and see if it works for you. All right, and then his final tweet, 6 out of 6. Millions of people have been creating and learning on YouTube for almost 20 years, and we're just as excited today as we were on day one. Read the rest at youtube.com/Neil Mohan. Let's just see what else he's got in here. I actually didn't even read this. Oh man, he just goes straight to, released his blog on YouTube. This is what I'm talking about, you guys. This actually is really fascinating. This is what they're trying to do with the community tab. Think about Instagram like 5 years ago when everything was picture, long form blog post captions. YouTube is kind of taking advantage of this void in the creator economy, in the social media space, that is the long form piece of content that we used to see in blogs. Again, we used to see on Instagram content, and now like Neil is doing it on his channel. Wow, he only has 78 subscribers. That's fascinating and a little bit embarrassing, if I may say so myself. All right. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about these 4 bets? What are the things that you are seeing? If I were a betting person myself, I would say spend more time in the community tab and start testing some of these features that have kind of fell by the wayside over the last number of years. Live streaming, ultra long form content, ultra authentic. Again, the pendulum is swinging back. And so there's a ton of opportunity in the space if you know what you're looking for. I would be experimenting on this content. I started a new channel. I'm Scott Simpson channel. If you guys haven't followed me over there, come check it out. It's very, very raw, 15 to 30 minute podcast vibe type of videos that are just taking you on my journey from 7 figures to 8 figures in our agency. So if you're interested in that type of thing, come on over and visit me over there. Hopefully this one was a good one for you guys. Leave your comments down below. Want to hear from you. Things are a changing and very, very rapidly. Kind of fun to see. Also a little bit nerve-wracking, but if you're staying on top of it, then you're going to be successful. So make sure you subscribe so that way you can stay on top of it. Catch you on the next one. Later.